Concerns in Rio remain high as the Olympics begin today, with Rio de Janeiro being one of the many areas that Zika-bearing mosquitoes can thrive. Joining us right now is Fox News Medical A team and Professor of Medicine at New York University, Dr. Marc Siegel. Dr. Siegel, good to see you.
Hi, Maria. Great to see you.
Your biggest concern as Zika continues to spread, how do you see this?
My biggest concern is fear. That we hear about that 1 square mile in Florida, and suddenly no one wants to go to Florida, but it's 1 square mile. You know why? These mosquitoes never travel beyond a few blocks. They only live a couple of weeks. That insecticide you mentioned, called Nailed, is almost 100% effective at getting rid of them. The biggest problem we're having is in Puerto Rico right now, where they're afraid of Nailed. We used it on 8 million miles here in Florida last year alone. It works. The EPA says it's safe. It's way above the ground, so it's not likely to make anybody sick. Puerto Rico, they're fighting it. Meanwhile, 50 pregnant women are getting Zika a day in PR.
Wow.
That's where we have to worry about.
Yeah, but what about, you know, the Olympics kicking off tonight? What about people, Americans, going to the Olympics and perhaps contracting Zika and coming back? I mean, are you worried that it could spread as a result of all of the tourists in Brazil right now?
I'm really not worried about that,
huh?
for a couple of reasons. Number one, a study just out of Yale looked at that and said even 500,000 people going to Rio right now would only bring back about 100 cases of Zika. It's decreasing in Brazil right now because it's becoming the winter there. The number of cases is on the decline, and it's not going to seed the United States because we don't have the mosquitoes, Maria.
Right.
I was just saying that we don't have the Aedes aegypti mosquito in the amount you would need to spark a big outbreak
here. So the
only
other way to contract it is through sexual activity?
Absolutely, and the number of cases through that is very low. Now, I'm not telling pregnant women or women that want to get pregnant should not go to Rio right now.
They shouldn't go to Miami. They shouldn't go to Wynwood in Miami.
To that district of Miami, yes. But the rest of Florida is okay.
It's like Williamsburg, Brooklyn. It's like this hipster neighborhood. I mean, I'm shocked by it. I'm shocked by the kind of the dire CDC warning telling people not to travel to this district in Miami. That's never happened before. Not in the history of the CDC.
Well,
so you are worried.
You know why I'm worried? Because I read the warnings about use DEET, use off, wear trousers, and I'm sitting up at my house with bug spray on and long pants and a long sleeve shirt, and I'm covered in mosquito bites from yesterday. That's not my point. My point is, I know that Zika is not in Connecticut,
right.
But I do know that even when people tell you to just go out but cover yourself and use bug spray, that you still get bit. That's my point. Yeah. She lives in Florida.
I do. I live in South Florida.
These are day biters. These mosquitoes are ferocious. They do bite, but my point is they only live within a couple of blocks. So if it's in 1 mile area and they live 1 week or 2 weeks, you're not going to see this causing a spread beyond that neighborhood.
But the concern is out there. I think we're seeing, like, you're even hearing, like, restaurants in South Florida that are, you know, shutting down their outdoor eating areas. You know, it's impacting businesses. The concern is out there not only in Miami, but just, I mean, even I live outside of Fort Lauderdale, and many people are concerned about this. Yeah, right, but it's that education of trying to let people know.
Which is why fear is your biggest issue.
We have a soft underbelly in the United States. We tend not to be worried about Puerto Rico, where I'm telling you 1/3 of Puerto Rico is going to end up with Zika because they have that mosquito and they're not spraying.
And there's been a flow of people from Puerto Rico coming to the mainland. I mean, that may very well continue, given the economic issues in Puerto Rico.
That will bring Zika here, but it won't seed the mosquitoes. Listen, I'm not trying to downplay what you're saying. I'm just saying that it's not.
The mosquitoes are not here.
The mosquitoes are not here.
How did they get to Wynwood? How did those Zika-infected mosquitoes wind up in that
neighborhood? Great question. Here's how.
That is a good question.
That's a great question. Here's how. It's because somebody traveled here from Puerto Rico.
Well, that's what I just asked you. There's going to be 500,000 Americans going to Brazil. That's why I'm asking that question.
So they're going to come back. They're going to bring Zika, some of them. They're going to go to areas where Aedes aegypti mosquitoes live, and there are going to be some local cases as a result. Not zero, some local cases, but there's not enough of the Aedes aegypti mosquito in Florida because of all the spraying. There's not enough of it for it to go from neighborhood to neighborhood to neighborhood. There will be sporadic cases.
So somebody with Zika in that neighborhood in Miami got bit by a mosquito, and that mosquito got Zika from that person.
Exactly, and then that mosquito transmitted it to someone else. But Zika, let's not forget, Zika's a mild virus. It's only if you're pregnant that it's a concern. Then up to 10 to 15% of pregnant women can get get microcephaly. Up to 30% can get birth defects.
See, but we
I'm
keep
worried
saying
about
that it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, but you're bringing up all these things that it just happened. So in this scenario that you just raised, a mosquito bit a person, and then the mosquito, and then the mosquito got Zika and then bit another person and transferred Zika.
Right.
That's going to happen in sporadic cases. But, Maria, it's much more likely to happen if we don't control the problem in Puerto Rico, which is a territory of the United States.
The money is running out to fight Zika.
And we should be getting that. In my opinion, we should be getting that $1.9 billion. We should get Congress back in session. We should pass it.
And President Obama went after the Republicans on this yesterday. Of course, you know what? It's the Democrats and the Republicans left to go on vacation and didn't fund it. And that's what that's what happened. Is both of them.
Yep.
We need the money. We need to control it in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
And then we won't have as much of it here. We don't have the mosquitoes here for sustained spread.
Right. Dr. Marc Siegel, good to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much. Great insights as always.